And the good news is that we do have something else we can work off, because if you remember, our fourth Fibonacci circle in, where it coincides with the previous outside, gives us our previous all-time high. And again, we've got an outside circle, the outer one, crossing over with the current one. So if we apply that same method now, we've just got to move this band around until our fourth circle hits this point here, which is going to be around about there. But even that we can move up and down and cheat. So we need something else that ties in with that. What else have we got? Well, we know that the low here, if we go backwards, the low here, if we come back across, is between the blue and the next pink. But how close is it? Well, it's sort of about a third of the way through. Let's go back another cycle and see what happens there. So our low here, well, now it's half of the way through. So it looks like this is an ever decreasing value. So we went from a half to a third. So I would imagine that on the next one, we're going to be just above it. So the cycle that we're working with now, I think this low is going to be just above or even on this blue line here. So we can bring that down to about there and then push it out to the side so that it matches perfectly with that. And that's not going to be a million miles away. That will not be a million miles away. We can draw the trend line through our Fibonacci, through the dotted lines. That will give us an approximation to start off with. And again, we can see that it's flatter than the previous one. So that's tying in with everything. We can see again that this trend line, when it hits the outside circle, we go back to the left a bit, and that gives us our all-time high. This interconnecting circle here comes back and goes through 1, 2, and it cuts roughly halfway between the second and the third Fibonacci, between the pink and the purple, about halfway through. Again here, it cuts through the second and the third, about halfway through. Again here, cuts through the second and the third, about halfway through. So it's a very, very consistent pattern that we're seeing from cycle to cycle. And we've got something similar here. We've cut through here and we're coming through around about halfway. We could just fudge that up a little bit maybe. And that would bring our trend line just above the blue here, which would tie in with that. And we just need to make sure that our circle hits across there. So that's not going to be a million miles away from what we need. Let's just alter our trend line a little bit. So let's just fix that. Actually helps us that because it's actually flattened out the line even more. The angle is getting flatter and flatter, which is what we would expect over time. So for this last calculation now, we would need to repeat the process. We would need to find out how long it was from the low to the halving date. So let's do that. Let's try and zoom in for a bit of accuracy. So we get our measuring tool and we go from the low. I'm going to do this very rough because it's so far in the future that it's hard to say really. Low to the halving date there. Yeah, that's pretty close. And that seems to be matching up with that. Come back a smidgen. Yeah, they seem to be lined up, don't they? Okay, so that's 599 bars. So cancel, we go 599 times our magic number. So 584.6. So we'll round that up to 585. 585, where have we added that number before? Well, that was the number of X in the first cycle that it went up from low to high. It actually went up 585 times. And now we're dealing with the number 585. Coincidence? Who knows? So let's go forward now 585 days from here. So from there, 585, 586. That's close enough. It's not going to let us give us the accuracy that we want because we're dealing with. Okay, so let's repeat the process. We need to go up in a straight line from the edge of here. And that will be about there, where it meets this line now. So where it meets this line and interconnects with it will be about there. And then if we go across to the right, it's going to give us a value of 2,063,147. 147, that's not bad, is it? 2,063,147. I'll leave that with you.